Hello, long time no see. Missed you guys last week when Ava and I was on a field trip. Welcome back to Ask Ashley, where I go live for 30 minutes and answer your crochet business questions. This is my favorite time of week. I hate it when we skip them, but I'm happy to be back today. We already have a couple questions that have come in from Christina, and I was trying to do a little bit of research before we started so I could give her a better answer. Hey, Mackenzie, let me share window. Just a second. No, not that one. I'm going to try to share my screen so we can see. She's asking about Etsy fees. I'm just going to share the whole hee-hawing thing. Okay, that's my whole screen. We're going to switch. Let's see. Add to stage. Hello. Now there's 100 of me. Okay. That's not going to work. It's been a hot minute since how about that? How's that look on your end? Hopefully not as crazy. So let me pull up the question first. She says, I don't like this. If we have our Etsy linked to Square, when people buy items at markets, will the item automatically go through Etsy when paying in person with their card? What do we have to do on our end? So I'm going to share my screen. Not that one. I'm going to do this one. Chrome tab. Okay, we're going to do this one. We're going to do this one first. Share. Okay, so I'm getting frustrated. Okay, there we are. So this page here tells you how to link your Square to your Etsy, but we need to try to find all of the important bits that we need to know before we decide if we want to link our Etsy shops to Square so we can take credit cards at markets. So if you link your Etsy shop to your Square account, so you can use the little Square reader to take credit card sales, you still pay the 20-cent listing fee per item if that item is synced in your Etsy shop. So you can either choose to sync your Etsy shop or don't sync your listings, and then you can just say hat $20 and kind of do it on the fly. So let's say that I was selling this crochet hook and this Post-it note packet at my market. These are linked in my Etsy shop, and I have what's the word that they use? Synced. I have synced my Etsy shop listings with Square. So if a customer comes into my market and buys both of these, I pay the 20-cent listing fee for this guy and the 20-cent listing fee for this guy. If I do not sync my listings and I say, oh, $10 plus $5 is $15, and I just type it in as a $15 purchase, period, like the total is $15, then it's one time 20-cent listing fee instead of two. But your inventory is going to get messed up. So if you are relying on your inventory and you want to stay organized in that way, and you know you've got 10 of these and you've got some for sale in your Etsy shop that's live, and you've got some for sale at your market, or you got all 10 of them with you at your market, if you sell one on your Etsy shop while you're at your market, you can grab it off the table and set it to the side. And then if your inventory is linked, you won't accidentally oversell it. You'll say, oh, that's not that, like, even if you forgot to take it off the table and there was one left and somebody tried to buy it and somebody online bought it first, you can say, actually, that one already sold. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not ideal, but it happens. The inventory would help you keep that in check. I was worried about that when I went to markets. I was worried that I would happen to get a sale for the thing in both places at the same time, and it stressed me out. So you have to pay the 20-cent listing fee still. You also have to pay it's not letting me share the screen. You also have to pay a fee to use Square. Okay, so the Square fee is 2.6% plus 10 cents for all swipes. And if you type in the number instead of swiping it, it's higher. I think it's like 3% or something. Maybe 3% plus 30 cents. I really can't remember. Hey, Anthea, but typing it in manually will cost you more fees. So you have the, was it 6.5% Etsy fee, the 20-cent listing fee, 2.9 or 2.6% Square fee plus 10 cents. So you got to think that through. That's very expensive, especially for handmade folks, because we have to count in our time when making our pricing and figuring out how much to make it worth our time, right? So you have to think all of that through. You want to take either credit cards or Venmo or PayPal if that's your jam. You want to be able to take digital money at your markets, but you might not want to sync your Etsy and your Square. That's going to be up to you. I think you might be able to have a Square account and not link it to your Etsy shop and just check people out via Square only. And then you'll just have to pay the 2.6% and the 10-cent listing fee through Square. So you won't have to pay any of the Etsy fees if you don't link them at all, and you just make a Square account and you just take credit cards through Square. But you won't be able to do inventory. You won't be able to get reviews. If you sync them and the customer buys with their card at your market, they have the option to put in their email. And then if they give their email address, they will have the ability to leave a review in your Etsy shop. So that can be very, very good, especially if you know the person that's checking out. You can also choose to run your cash purchases through the Etsy app. If you do that, you will pay all of the Etsy fees and the 20-cent listing fee, all the Etsy fees, but inventory will be kept in check and they will have the option to leave a review potentially. So you got to think about it all the way through and figure out what's most important to you with your current season of business and your why and your ideal level of success and long term. You got to weigh all the pros and cons for yourself. It's really tricky and it's a lot to take in. So don't get overwhelmed. Just take it a little bit at a time. Set a timer, give yourself an hour and do research for an hour. Write down what you find so you can take some notes and try to keep your thoughts organized. There might be some sort of calculator out there, like a Etsy Square integration calculator. You could Google that and see if you can find something like that to try to help you think it through. If not, you can make your own on Excel if you are into that. But it can be very complicated, and you got to just do what makes sense for you and your business. The most important thing is that you are able to take digital money. But in this, it depends on who your ideal customer is, and it depends on what market you're at. If you are at a market that is going to have younger Gen X and down, Venmo and PayPal, they probably have those. Or Cash App, I don't know what that is. I don't use that. I'm a millennial, if that counts. But I have PayPal and Venmo. And then if it's going to be some people older than that, they might just have their credit cards, like their actual plastic debit cards. So if you're not able to take them, you might lose sales. So you got to think that all the way through. Thank you for your question, Christine. I hope that was helpful. I know it's a lot to take in. She also asks, looking into making gift sets, lovey, stuffy, baby shower card, all wrapped together. Any suggestions for how to make the gift set look beautiful for my customers, materials, tags, etc.? So, Christina, you want your gift set packaging to match your brand's tone and the feel of your business, and it needs to reflect your pricing. So if it is, if you've done pricing research and you've found the average is $5 to $10 and you go with $15, then you know that you are higher end of the range, right? So you should act accordingly. The customer would have big expectations if they knew they were paying more than what most people charge. They have to make that decision knowing that you're worth it. Your quality is worth it. Your all of it, all the packaging, everything. My mind immediately goes to the brown paper mache gift boxes at Hobby Lobby. You can get them. I think they go on sale eventually. Like, I don't remember what time of the month that they go on sale, but I think they do go on sale. And they're like a little bit skinny and they got different sizes. If you had those, just the plain brown craft paper gift boxes with some on brand wrapping tissue paper, not your logo, because we want the customer to get this in the mail and then immediately be able to gift it to the recipient. So the recipient is not going to want your logo on the tissue paper. So I would just do your colors. Like if you're a boho colors, I would not do neon pink tissue paper. Keep it in your color family. Keep it on brand colors for you. And then I would lay them in there nicely and then put the card on top. You could even tie it all together with like a ribbon, like a branded ribbon if you wanted to. Or you could just try to like put the tissue paper over it, put the lid on it, then stick it in a box or polymailer. If you'd use a polymailer, there's a good chance your box might get damaged. But if you put it in another box, it would be protected. I wonder if you could just wrap it in craft paper. People do that. You could just wrap it in craft paper and then stick the shipping label to the outside of the package. Craft paper is pretty durable. So that's an option too. That's a more bougie option. And then you could put like your business card and stuff in there, but they need to be able to remove it, right? So they can gift it to the recipient. Another thing that you could do, I feel like maybe you could put like your logo or something inside the box, or maybe under all of the stuff, like under the tissue paper and everything. And when the recipient is taking their stuff out and putting it away, they would see your logo so they know where it came from. You might could do that, like get stickers to put them in the box and then the tissue paper and then your products. A cheaper way to go would be organza bags. They're like, ow, my knees just get really stiff. These white bags like this that you could put your gifts in. You could wrap them with wrap labels. This week's wrap labels are super cute. Mackenzie designed them. I love how they turned out. But if you were selling, so you said lovey, stuffy, your lovey, you could probably lovey, stuffy, and card. The lovey, you might could roll and put a wrap label around it and then put it in your organza bag with the stuffy. I would put the card in an envelope so it would be a little bit more protected in the mail. And then you could put this in your polymailer and ship it that way. This would be for a lower cost experience. So keep in mind with your pricing and your ideal customer and what they're expecting and what you're trying to present as your branding. Like as your, like the vibes that you're trying to create your business around. Okay. What you want people to think of when they think of your business. Organza bags are super cheap. I used organza bags when I sold finished pieces. Everybody who bought a Claire Bun beanie got it in an organza bag with a business with a wrap label around it and a business card in the back. And then I put this in the polymailer. I liked it. I thought it was a nice experience as a gift recipient. So that's one thing that you could do if you wanted to. Hopefully that's helpful, Christina. If you want to talk about it more, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I will do my best to respond. Next question is from Anthea, and she said, would you recommend keeping 2 Etsy stock separate from market stock, or will that be too complicated, too much to manage? Just don't want to pay extra fees on Etsy using Square at my markets. I get that, Anthea, and I wouldn't want to do that either. You're welcome, Christina. So, Anthea, you could have yourself a spreadsheet, like just manual inventory. And if you sell something, mark it off your inventory sheet and then go into your Etsy shop and change the inventory. If it's something that you like, so most likely, unless your shop is just hopping all the time, most likely you are not going to it's not going to even be a problem. Like the overlapping isn't even going to happen, most likely. But there is that scenario that it could happen, and you don't want to like make your business in poor light for your Etsy customer. Now, if I was selling linen Claire Bun beanies at my market, and I had 3 linen Claire Bun beanies in my Etsy shop listed as 3, and in my market listed as 3, I could, if I sold one, I could go into my Etsy as soon as I get downtime at the market, go into my Etsy listing, make the quantity is now 2, like be on it. Or say I sold somebody had all 3 of these in their hand, and somebody on Etsy bought one before they checked out. And then they go to check out and there's only 2 in my inventory and they're buying 3, right? I know that I can crank out another Claire Bun beanie in 42 minutes. So I could just extend my turnaround time, or take them out. Say I'm out of inventory. If you do made to order only, take the rest of them out of your shop. Say these are sold out. And then that evening, make that other Claire Bun beanie and ship it to my Etsy customer. Now, if it's a Daisy Granny square blanket, you cannot do that. You would not be able to do that. So keep that in mind. If it's something that you can crank out, maybe you lose some sleep that night because you're cranking out your Claire Bun beanie. Like you have to choose if that's worth it to you or not with your season of business and your goals and all that good stuff. But that's what I would do if it was me. I would do my very best to pay attention to what's selling at my market and then update my Etsy inventory as much as I could. There will be downtime at your markets. You don't want to be on your phone the whole time because that doesn't present well, right? It looks like you don't want to be there. It looks like you couldn't care less about the people who are there. That's not good. But if you could sneak in a couple phone sessions where you can update your inventory, you could do that. Or if you had a helper with you, they could do it. Or if you had a friend, maybe you could text them and be like, just sold another linen Claire Bun beanie, and they'd be like, okay, and go on to your Etsy shop for you and update the inventory. You got plenty of options. You just need to know what works best for you. I personally when I sold finished pieces, I had them all in my Etsy shop as made to order, meaning I didn't make it until it was sold. And I had my turnaround time 3 to 5 days or whatever. So if I have inventory for my market, it does not affect my made to order status on my Etsy shop. And then let's say I have 2 linen Claire Bun beanies left over from my market, I would just hold on to those. And the next time I sold one in my Etsy shop, I would ship it to them. And they would just get it sooner than they expected, which is a good thing. That's what I recommend, is having your Etsy shop set up as made to order and keeping up to date with the turnaround time. If you're getting a ton of sales, extend your turnaround time. Always extend your turnaround time. And then make it very clear. But Etsy has done a lot better job now. It says like on the sidebar when you're shopping, when you can expect to get that product. It didn't used to do that. I put it in my shop announcement section, my turnaround time. And every listing said, for my current turnaround time, check my shop announcement. But they've updated significantly since then. It was a long time ago. And it's a lot easier now for them to see when their turnaround time is. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Della, Square is a way to take credit card payments at markets. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the live. Okay, Jesse said, I'm only tracking inventory on Square for markets because my Etsy is all made to order. If I decide to fill an Etsy order with my inventory, then I'll update my Square numbers. That's a good idea, Jesse. I like that idea. So Jesse's saying she created a Square account, which is free, and she put her inventory into her Square account. And she uses Square for markets and then has her Etsy shop does its own thing. So she does not link the two, and which is fine to do. It's going to save you a ton of money on fees, but it will not make her Etsy sales go up, and it will not give the Square customers the option to leave a review on Etsy. But depending upon the season of business that you're in, that might not be as important to you in that moment. You could just focus on working hard to get your Etsy customers to leave Etsy reviews. No problem. And then she says that if she gets, say she's got 5 Claire Bun beanies in her square inventory at her market, and she sells one on Etsy. Her phone gets a cha-ching, and she's like, oh, it's a Claire Bun beanie. I got 4 of those left. I'm going to just take one. And she'll just set it aside. That way she does not have to make a Claire Bun beanie when she gets home. And then if she sells out of the other Claire Bun beanies, maybe she's like, I better put this one back out, because maybe you want to sell it while you're there because you know you can crank out another one when you get home. You get to make that decision on your own. But I like this method, Jessie, because I like keeping your Etsy shops made to order. I just think it's a good way to maximize your work smarter, not harder. Sharon says, I just made your Claire Bun and Bobble headbands, earwarmers, getting ready for fall craft shows. You talk about wraps. How do you print them, on cardstock or heavy paper or something else? I get this question all the time. I'm glad that you asked, because somebody else is also wondering the same thing. So my wrap labels come to you guys every Wednesday for Wrap Label Wednesday. If you are on my email list, I can't find one at the moment, but I got tons of the thank you cards. I print mine on 110-pound cardstock. 110-pound cardstock. That is the cardstock Office Depot uses. If you say, I want these on cardstock, that's their go-to. And that's how I used to do it. I would get thousands of wrap labels printed, because there's like 4 to a page, get them printed at Office Depot, because I had a store card, customer number, like a fancy, and it gave me a significant discount, and I shared it with you guys. And it's a very old blog post, but none of it works anymore. The card thing does not work anymore. It was through a nonprofit that my mom had with. It's the whole thing. But it was so cheap to print it this way. And I told everybody to do it this way. And then I also printed all of my Etsy sale invoices at Office Depot, because my shop went viral and I had like 400 sales, and I printed them all off. And then I just pulled from the top, because they print in the order that you got them. And so I would pull from the top and ship my things that way. But this is 110-pound cardstock. It works very well. So if this was a wrap label, wrap it around, tape it, good to go. The wrap labels are skinty. So you get, if for up and down, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then the long ones, you get 4, because sometimes you need a longer wrap label. For comparison, this is computer paper. I don't know if you can see or tell through the camera, but this is much nicer. This is not nice. This would not, if this was my only option for my business, I would not use wrap labels, because this would do, in my opinion, more damage to my brand than having wrap labels at all would. That's my opinion. 110-pound cardstock is what I have always loved for wrap labels. And they also come with matching thank you cards. With every wrap labels, you get the vertical, the horizontal, horizontal. We're learning that. And then thank you cards. I don't have any of them. How sad. This week's wraps were very pretty, though. I can pull them up if you want to see them. And then you can go into your, I'll just pull up my email. You can go into your inbox if you are on my email list, and you can find them. Hang on. I don't even know. I posted in my stories. They're very pretty. Let me pull them up. This week's wraps. Okay, go away. And share my screen. Window, this one, share. Whoop. There we are. This is this week's wraps. Mackenzie made these. Yay, Mackenzie. I love this one. I love them all. She did great. So this is the 5 this way. Then you get 4, which on this is a piece of paper on this way. And then these are the matching thank you cards. And you can write a little note on the back, add your business card, ship it, put it all in your organza bag if that's your jam, and ship it to your customer. But these come out every single week, and they are seasonal. Like, our wrap labels have to do with what's happening in the season. So if you wanted to mix up your packaging for the season, just for funsies, wrap labels are perfect for that. You could also, like, if you wanted to have your Claire Bun beanies at a market, I mean, you could probably like wrap some and have them. Only thing is, people won't be able to try them on. And if that's your jam, That's a good way to do it. I let people try on the beanies when they were at my markets, because when I'm shopping, I try them on. If they said, no, you can't try it on, then I'd be like, I'm not buying it. But if you didn't want people to try them on and you had them wrapped up, it would probably deter some people from trying them on. There are some things that you could wrap and have ready, like nice branded and pretty, that they don't need to try on. I'm trying to think of like maybe a pack of crafty facial rounds. They don't look good in wraps, though. We'd have to see what all that it is you sell. Maybe Claire cozies, coffee cozies. We got options. But that is how I print them. Thank you for your question, Sharon. Anthea said, my Etsy shop isn't running yet. Still held up on working out the shipping, trying to figure out bags or boxes, packaging materials, etc. I've been doing really well, though, at markets. Great, Anthea. That's excellent. I recommend polymailers for shipping, unless, Christina, you're trying to have a bougie experience. If you're not trying to have a bougie experience, polymailers are going to be cheaper always because they're so light. They're water resistant. They're supposed to be like tear resistant. I don't see it can be poked through, but it's supposed to be resistant. Okay. And then if you used organza bags, put a Claire Bun beanie. That's how I did it. Pop it in there, close her up, shipping label, good to go. They come in all different sizes. You can get smaller ones and you can get bigger ones. I have these big heifers. I think I've had even bigger ones. And then one time I had something that wouldn't ship. I think it was a pencil pillow. And what I did was I took 2 of these and put the pencil pillow in this way and then peeled it, stuck it to the one side, and then flipped it over. Did it again on the other side, peeled it, stuck it, and then I took some more tape over it. It's not very cute. Definitely not very cute. Definitely was at the beginning of my journey. But it got the job done, and it was shipped. These big ones can ship cactus pillows. At least some that I had before could ship cactus pillows. I got a rainbow pillow here. You could just pop it right on in there. You could wrap it in tissue paper if you wanted to give it a little bit of a different look in there. But that will go right in a polymailer. They're self-sealing, so you just peel this off, stick it down, put on your shipping label, out the door. Really easy. If you do boxes, it will be heavier and it will be more expensive. So first class USPS mail is going to be your cheapest bet. It goes up to, I want to say 16 ounces, and the price goes up all the time. It might be like 14 ounces. I don't remember. You have to look at a chart. But I think it's like $4.50, depending upon what part of America it's going to, if it's in America. Once you get to first class, it's not by weight. Maybe it is still by weight. And then you got the priority boxes too, which are not by weight. Those are just the priority boxes. And the boxes are free, but you got to pay the shipping cost to ship the priority boxes. But almost everything most of us would need to ship can be shipped first class in a polymailer and kept the cost really low. You can charge your customer the shipping, whether you work it into the price of your product or have shipping extra. Either way, you don't need to pay the shipping without making money for it. So if you want to sell your thing for $30 and it costs $5 to ship it, then you need to sell your thing for $35. Especially on Etsy, because if you turn your shop to be free shipping on things of $35, you need to think about that. Make sure you've checked all your boxes and made good decisions. Anthea also tracks her inventory on Square. I think that's a really smart idea. You're welcome. Okay, this one, Jamie says, I've scoured YouTube and your blog, but in case I've missed it, have you done any patterns for other clothing accessories for the Gracie Grayson dolls? I'm familiar with the flamingo floatie, but that's it. So I haven't, Jamie, because the demand wasn't there, and it saddens me because I have so many ideas. I am working on the skeleton doll. This was supposed to go live this Friday, but that did not happen because I am homeschooling my child, who is here with me today. all the time. She's making a video. I'll post it on Instagram after she's done with it.
I thought you said TikTok.
Whatever. We can do all of them.
Just get it.
David, no speaking. I also have a mermaid tail that I made for the Gracie doll that in a bathing suit. I think the bathing suit pattern is live. Mackenzie can check on that. I think the bathing suit pattern is live, but I have a mermaid tail that I never posted because there wasn't, like, nobody wanted it, even though I think it's so cute. But I'm thinking, I don't know, I might just start posting them anyway, just for the handful of people like me and you, Jamie, who like them. Because another thing that you could do is you could make a black dress for her and then make it look like it's got a skeleton, like, chest with like a little heart. That would be so cute. And then it's like her Halloween dress, or like red and white stripes with the blue top of her dress for 4th of July, something like that. Jamie said, the demand is definitely present to local to me. I've made a ton and sold so far, and I'm hoping to make extra clothing to sell before Christmas so people can have a change of clothes. Would love the mermaid. Girl, that just makes me so happy. That makes me so happy that I didn't mean demand for, like, your demand for the Gracie dolls. I meant demand for me, for crocheters to want the clothes. But the fact that you want them gives me hope. And the mermaid tail, I got the notes somewhere. It depends on how advanced of a crocheter are you, because I might just let you look at my notes, and then I'll try to get it released eventually. Because that would also make a fun Halloween costume. She could be a mermaid for Halloween. There's tons of things that we could do with her. I'd like to make a book, honestly. I think that would be super fun, is a Gracie doll book for clothes and accessories. And I'd like to, like, make coat hangers out of wire. That would be something that you could do. You can make wire coat hangers to put the outfits on and hang them up. And you can make a video on TikTok where it looks like you can take the Gracie doll arms and have it, like, off screen where you can't see your hands, and, like, grab the clothes and make, and, like, off the hanger. I thought about doing it to the song from Legally Blonde, The Perfect Day, that one at the beginning. That would make a really cute TikTok or reel, and just have Gracie, like, you could show her, like, putting on her shoes, like touching her foot after her shoe has been put on, like she just put it on there. I think that could be really fun. Okay, Jamie, I'll try to find it. If you'll message me on Instagram and say, hey, this is Jamie looking for the mermaid tail. I don't know which notebook it's in, but I can look for it. It's either this one or my gray one. So I can find it, and just, it's going to be chicken scratch, but hopefully it'll make sense to you. But I'll try to get it released maybe this summer, before the summer hits, because I think it's fun. I think it would be fun for little girls to kind of like Build-A-Bear / American Girl doll style. I think it could be fun. Okay. Oh, we got one more question from Anthea, and she says, do you think the polymailers work for earwarmers okay? I was just worrying about them being too, for sure. Anthea, I don't know what kind of earwarmers that you're making. They might be like more unique than what I'm used to. But if it's just the regular old, like, crocheted earwarmers, like a pretty flat thing, it's not going to get messed up, even if it gets squished. Crochet can get squished all day long, and it's still fine when you take it apart. I thought I had some earwarmers in here. What is all of this? This is no earwarmers. Well, I thought I had one, but I don't. But even this guy, like, he could get squished, and then he will go back to shape. Like, it's not going to permanently damage anything because it got squished in the mail. You can also get smaller sizes because they might be cheaper, Anthea. Or you could, if I had a headband, you could put it in a bag like this size, and then say it only took up like this much space. Here, let's use this one. This is a rainbow Christmas ornament. Say it only took up that much space in the bottom of the bag. You could just, like, fold it if you wanted to, and then seal it up that way. Or fold it to the size of your shipping label, which mine are 4x6. Or just get smaller polymailers because they're probably cheaper. Usually the smaller the polymailer, the cheaper they are. And you can get these in bulk. You can buy them off of the Amazon. You can get them from the U-Line or whatever, the, like, where, like, brick and mortars get their shipping supplies, or their like tape and stuff. I think it's U-line. So what I did was I used to work at a bookstore when I was in college, and we shipped out books. And we had boxes and boxes of these polymailers, and they could get them a whole box of them, which was like 1,000 polymailers or more, really, really cheaply. And so he would give them to me at cost. But that business went out of business due to the internet and renting books and all these things. So that's not even there anymore. But that's how I got them originally. But you can also get them on Amazon pretty cheaply. She said I need to try those wrap labels on my ear warmers. Absolutely. They work really well on ear warmers. I was going to try to show you, but again, I don't have any of them, which is silly. Well, I was just going to, if you just cut a piece of paper in this direction and then wrap it around, you can make it as tight or as loose as you need. And if you need it bigger, you would go this direction with the other sheet. But you can absolutely either roll or just fold and then secure with a wrap label. It's a fun way it's a fun way for packaging. I like it. Okay. Oh, woolly's thick and quick. So you don't want it to get like picked at. That would be damaging. And if you're worried about it, you could wrap it in tissue paper and then put it in your polymailer, or put it in an organza bag and then put it in your polymailer. That would probably help protect it a little bit more too. You're welcome, Anthony. I'm glad that was helpful. Okay, friends, that is our time for today. We are just over at 36 minutes. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you felt encouraged or excited, inspired, motivated to go work on your business, grow your business, update some things that you know have been slacking maybe, or step out of your comfort zone and go work on something that you've been putting off because it's not fun to do, which is what I do. So hopefully you and I can both go get some work done after this. I hope you have a great day. I will see you next week, 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to continue with 1:00 p.m. through the month of October. So this is where we're going to be at for October. I don't know about November. I'll let you guys know. But I will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great rest of your day.